Hey, my name is Charles Payer here at JTech, and we're going to go over basic, parts of a rear drive axle. That's what this is called. Some people call it so. We're really going to talk about the pumpkin or the differential inside of the drive axle. But first things first, you got this housing here. And these are brakes on the sides. And then you've got the axle that goes through the shaft, just like this axle over here. We'll talk about this later, but this axle is inside of here. So the way the drive axle works is as you have your input shaft coming into the differential pinion, it provides torque to the pinion itself, turning the pinion, which turns the gear on the inside, which we'll show you, and will transfer power, torque, from the engine through the drive shaft into the pinion gear and out to turn the wheels, through the axle to turn the wheels. So now let's see how this thing works. So we'll turn this over, and the way this works is using what is called a differential. Now, differential, what its main purpose is to do is to split power coming from the engine to both sides of the axle independently. Now, the reason independently is if this was one solid piece, everything would turn together. So as you turn a corner, it would allow the whole axle to turn. And as you turn, the outside wheel will turn correctly, but the inside tire would slip and cause what they call scrubbing, which actually rubs material off the tire if it was one solid piece. If they were two separate pieces, they would turn independently, which is perfect, but there's no power. It would not drive at all. It'd just be a dragging axle. Differential takes that power and splits it up, allowing one tire to turn at a different speed than another tire. And we're going to show this really quick. We're going to turn this tire, and if you look, this inner gear, this side gear, is not turning. The reason it's not turning is because the other axle is stuck right now. But as you can see, one axle turns separate, independently of the other. Okay, so we're going to do the flow of power, how it works. So as the power comes in through the pinion gear, so as we showed the inside, comes to the pinion gear, which if you look inside, it's the ring on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Yep, see it turning down there on the bottom? And that engages the ring gear, this gear right here. Now the ring gear turns the differential housing, which allows the spider gears to turn and engage into the side gears. Now it looks complicated, but in essence, all we're doing here is we're allowing slipping, I guess the best way to put it. We're allowing one wheel to turn with another one. So think of it as gear teeth. So as gears work together, they turn. Well, as we're trying to get two to work together, we're going to put an intermediate so they can turn at different angles, and that's all we're doing. We're allowing it to turn at different angles, and that's all the spider gear does. As it comes in, it allows one gear to turn more than the others, and continuing everything to spin. So as we stop the axle, this can spin. That's what the spider gears do. They allow everything to spin independently and transfer power from the input shaft to the axles. Okay, now the way it goes from the axles is it goes from the spider gears to the side gears, and from the side gears, they're actually splined in the inside. As we can see on this drive axle, is that it's splined. So that side gear is actually fitted over this to allow this to turn. So that's how it transfers power from the spider gears to the side gear to the axle. This is just one type of differential. There are multiple different types, such as a limited slip differential or quasi differential, whatever you want to call them, or solid differential even, where it's actually a solid piece. So a limited slip differential, the difference would be there's another set of gears or a spring, depending on how it's set up. The spring, if there's a spring in there, it has a clutch pack on this set. So as one spins, it engages. The centrifugal force forces the spring out, will engage, so that a portion of the wheel that's slipping, a portion of its power is transferred to the other wheel to help with momentum so that they don't slip. So that way if you're driving and you hit a slippery pavement, or maybe you're hitting mud hole or something along that lines, you don't just get stuck there. That power roll that's from the slipping will be transferred to the axle that's not slipping and allow it to roll as well. You can lock differentials so that they'll both turn at the same time, and in essence, it locks this thing together and turns as one piece. In essence, that's how a differential works. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Thanks.